National Powerboat Association's New York City Powerboat Poker Run. This will be the largest powerboat event in the history of our planet. The coolest thing on the Hudson since Henry. Do you have any idea what this is going to sound like? Welcome to the 1999 New York City Powerboat Poker Run, sponsored by the National Powerboat Association. I'm Chris Kelly, and together with my co-host Rich Lures, we're going to take you on a guided tour of this incredible event. I'm here at our post position at Chelsea Piers in Lower Manhattan in New York City, home of Surfside 3, which is one of the largest sea rate dealers in the world. Today, we're expecting about 150 boats ripping up and down the Hudson. And Rich, what can we expect out there on the water today?
We can expect tremendous speeds, Chris, roaring around the Big Apple. Boats that are capable of speeds up to 150 miles an hour, and lots of them, 150 boats. From here to Haverstraw and back on a round trip that's guaranteed to be the most exciting spectacle on the Hudson River in history.
All right, so let's get this show on the road. Rich and I are going to jump into a couple of the cigarettes and Donzies they have here. We're going to head across the Hudson River to Liberty Landing, where we're going to talk to a couple of the participants in today's event. Stick around. We'll be right back. On Speedvision. Don't go anywhere. The National Powerboat Association's New York City Powerboat Poker Run is brought to you by Baja, Donzi, Sea Ray, Dr. Horsepower, and the Cigarette Racing Team. This third annual New York City event has grown to be one of the most colorful and entertaining powerboat events on television. This year, we're starting from Liberty Landing Marina, just north of Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. This is the morning of the big day. We've had a chance to get over here to Liberty Landing Marina, freshen up a little bit, and as you can hear, the boats are coming in right now. It should be a great course out there. The wind is calm, the seas are going to be flat, should be fast out there. Let's see what happens. Poker runs in general, and this NPBA New York City event specifically, have captured the attention of the entire powerboat industry, evidenced by the introduction of poker run editions, which are basically the highest-end performance boat each manufacturer has to offer the consumers. Let's go out to Rich Lures and Company and see what some of the industry people and the participants have to say about the run and the hardware.
Before there was a cigarette, there was Donzi. In 1964, Don Aronow started Donzi Marine. And today, Donzi is bigger and better than ever. Represented in the Northeast by Wayne Courts at Willow Cove Marina, Donzi's here in strength at today's poker run. And Wayne, how's Donzi doing?
Great. It's one of the finest boats now built. We've got a 38 here today, a couple 33s. They're fantastic boats.
The hull's changed over the years, hasn't it?
Yes, yes. We've got the new Z technology, and it's just the boat is outstanding.
Plenty of speed.
Plenty. Our 33s are doing upward of 85, and they're great. They handle nice. They're a great family boat also.
Well, Donzi's looking very good if you ask me. And meanwhile, field reporter Marcus Savatero has been cruising the docks, and it looks like he's found a very ferocious tiger.
Here we are dockside with a year 2000 42-foot cigarette tiger. Jack Capazzo is the owner of this boat and cigarette racing team. This is going to be the pace boat for the 100-mile-an-hour plus club on the Poker Run. Jack, what can you tell me about this motors on this boat? Especially, looks like they're really race motors.
These are race motors basically that are detuned. That's Mercury's actually, if you're looking at their Poker Run motors, the twin 900 horsepower that are detuned. They put out about 850 horsepower that propel these boats well in excess of 90 miles an hour. But the boat in general is a pleasure boat as well. It's got everything from air conditioning to a full head, television, refrigerator. Good way to have a good time on the weekend, either out screaming out on the sound of the bay or just relaxing at dockside.
So with this boat, you can truly go fast and hang with the big boys in terms of power and speed, but also keep the wife and kids happy, as we all know is important.
Absolutely.
Excellent. How many of these boats do you think you'll build in this year and in going into year 2000?
Year 2000 we'll build between 12 to 18 of these and about 100 boats overall for the year.
That's great. Things are going great for cigarette racing. Let's see how we do on the Poker Run in the 100-mile-an-hour plus club on the Cigarette 42 Tiger.
I didn't think tigers like water. Maybe they don't. But some of the local performance gearheads get extremely pumped, as I found out earlier. Dockside here with Tom Fancher, president of Full Throttle Marine. Tom, this is the biggest event I think we've ever had here in New York Poker Run. What are you looking for today?
Well, we're looking for a good time and good fun. Conditions are great, and this is going to be great. We're ready to run. Let's go.
We just got the call. Gentlemen, start your engines here at the 1999 New York City Poker Run. This is going to be the largest on-water boating event in the history of the planet. We're expecting more than 200 high-performance boats out there at the starting line over by the Statue of Liberty. The crews are talking about what kind of tactics they're going to use to get to our first checkpoint, whether to run up the New Jersey side or the New York side. But either way, it promises to be a tremendous event. Let's head over to the starting line now. Okay, here's our first look at this amazing spectacle as 192 boats mill around at the Statue of Liberty. The players all have their engines tuned like Eric Clapton's guitar for this one, and about now the collective blood pressure is off the scope. We've got bat boats, cruisers, cats, deep thieves, kilo record contenders, and industry brass. 400 props, 40,000 pistons, and over 200,000 horsepower. Now we're going to have some fun now, and we'll be right back as this invasion begins its high-speed trek up the legendary Hudson River. To get underway, so let's catch up with Marcus aboard the Tiger.
All right, we're on Jack Capazzo's 42-foot Cigarette Tiger, brand new 1999 model with twin 900 series Mercury motors. This boat will be the lead pace boat in the first start. That's the faster boats, those probably in excess of, well in excess of 100 miles an hour.
As you can imagine, setting up an event like this takes a tremendous amount of planning and organization. But no amount of preparation could prepare the NPBA's executive director, Billy Friends, for the first look at what he had created. Just up ahead of us by about 500 yards, we've got an assembly of about 200 of the fastest boats on the planet. This is the largest boating event ever. And Billy, you've really done it this time. What are you thinking right now?
I'm overwhelmed at this moment. It's tremendous. The guys came out from Michigan. They came from Kentucky, Illinois, Florida. We're in New York City here. We're at the top of the world. The biggest powerboat event going. It's a great, great feeling.
From Tom Fancher's Cigarette all the way over there, the south side of Governor's Island, all the way across New York Harbor to the Statue of Liberty, our boats are lined up for the start. get this big, you're going to catch a few stars without even trying. Rich caught up with one of them, New York's own Jim Fossil.
Controlling dozens of offshore boats takes a special guy, and we found one. Jim Fossil, coach of the New York Giants. He's captain of the pace boat today in the cruiser class. Jim, what brings you to powerboating?
Well, I love boating, and since I've been in New York, I've had a great relationship with Sea Ray, and it's probably one of the most enjoyable things I do outside of coaching the New York Giants.
How far do you cruise?
Well, we're going to go out to the Hamptons, and this year we're going to go up into the Boston area, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard and that, and spend about a week touring around.
Today we're going to Haverstraw. Have you been up there?
I have, but this is going to be a little different for me, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, faster.
Oh, a lot faster, a lot faster. That many boats and the race and everything the way it is, it's going to be exciting.
Now, offshore powerboat racing records impacts of up to 3 Gs. How does that compare to football tackles?
Well, it's the same thing. A lot of high speed, a lot of aggressiveness. The only difference is in football, we're looking for contact at the end of that, high-speed collisions. Here today, hopefully we just have high speed.
I'm gonna go do it. We're all piling in now. We're all gonna line up behind the pace boats. We're the flag boat. We're coming up river, 200 strong.
200 boats strong, and actually with all those spectator boats, it's a lot more than that. The event is so big, we actually stopped all the traffic on the Hudson River, including ferries, the Circle Line, and even a couple of cruise ships. All right, we're underway at a head half speed. You can see the crowd has been very well behaved this year. They've been told if you get ahead of this boat, you're disqualified, and everybody's following that rule. This is an incredible parade starting just south of Battery Park City in New York, and we're going to take off once we get up to the West Side Marina. We're about at West 15th Street on the Hudson River, coming up to Chelsea Piers and Surfside 3 Marina. You take a look back here, there are still boats back at the Statue of Liberty that haven't even started yet. Now that's a poker run. Chelsea Piers, West 17th Street. We're not at the official start yet, but we are up on plane. We're having a little bit of trouble keeping these horses in the stable. They are ready to go. All right, we're starting now. Hang on. We're back at the start of the NPBA's New York City Powerboat Poker Run. Let's go to Rich Lures and Marcus Sabatero to tell us all about it.
Poker Run or Poker Riot. It looks like an invasion down there. So much power, so much speed, and so much excitement. With the backdrop of beautiful Manhattan, nothing could be more exciting than this moment right here.
And right out of the gate, there's a member of the 100-mile-an-hour club, Quinn Imperio, in his 30-foot velocity, trying to get a leg up on the competition here.
Quite a bit of competition there is. Everything is tightly bunched right now. We're just off the start of the poker run. People have to be very, very careful. They're picking their lanes. They're trying to find some open water. They can't really use their power when they're this far back in the pack. But as we've come forward, you can see some of the boats in the background starting to put the pedal down, starting to put some horsepower to the water.
And one can only imagine what this horsepower truly sounds like in lower Manhattan as they start to tear up the river.
Hope we're not breaking any windows right now. There's an awful lot of horsepower out here, very high-performance motors. They're not that finicky, however. There's tremendous dependability these days in high-performance boats. You can get a dependable 100-mile-an-hour boat that burns regular gasoline.
That's impressive, because in the old days, there was a lot of superchargers that would pop off those motors because they were using the aviation fuel, which are much higher octane rating.
And we're going by the old days. We're looking at the carrier Intrepid on the west side. Now you're starting to see the boats kind of loosen up a little bit. There's less wakes to contend with. We're up towards the front of the Poker Run. The speeds are definitely climbing. We're seeing speeds in the 70 and 80 mile an hour range right now.
As we start to shoot up the river here, we're going to zoom in on the Hawk Racing team. These guys are flying probably in the mid-60s, upper 70s now as we approach the George Washington Bridge. These guys look like they're having a lot of fun. That's what it's all about today.
Also having a ball is the Stalker as we zip up the river a little bit further, catch some of the rest of the fleet. Here's a beautiful Donzi, one of the factory boats out here today, but here's the most colorful black cloud you're ever going to see, and one of the fastest.
Well, with that rooster tail, you can tell there's a lot of power in that black cloud, more than most thunderstorms. Here's an onboard perspective of what these guys are seeing as they shoot up the river.
And they're holding their thunderstorm in check because, in fact, this boat has been clocked at over 142 miles an hour. The owners, the Schott brothers, are legitimate kilo record contenders for the title of the world's fastest V-bottom.
Well, men aren't the only ones that want to go fast. Here's Maria Scarduzio on her 26-foot Sonic, waving and having a great time in the sun today.
And the biggest boat on the course seems to be going the wrong way, but the actual competitors are still going northbound on the Hudson River, and they're starting to get into that calmer water we talked about, starting to really strut their stuff. They can put the throttles down and wave at the same time, as you see from this beautiful Baja. Now, Baja is one of our corporate sponsors here today, and that's with good reason. They are, in fact, the largest manufacturer of high-performance boats in the world. Tony Caligiuri, the dealer at Ocean Outboard, he has 4 locations. He's also a world-renowned throttle man and has won world and national championships. Now, this crew is all decked out with the same shirts, and they all change together because with Baja, speed changes you. Let's jump on board the Cigarette Tiger with Marcus for an in-depth look at what's going on inside one of these boats.
We're running at close to 110 miles an hour on this 42-foot Cigarette. Third position in the pack here. Everything's nice and controlled. We had a nice smooth start. Coming up on the George Washington Bridge on the Hudson River. It's a beautiful day. Flight begins at 100.
And flying over 100, you're looking over the shoulder of Jack Cabasso, the president of Cigarette, and a world-renowned boat racer in his own right.
Leading this pack is Gary Montano in his 42-foot McManus Comanche with triple 1,200 Cobras.
Only 2 engines in this 32-foot superboat, but Chris Tufo is hanging right onto that big, bad McManus right now.
There's another great shot of Gary Montano's Team Prime. This boat goes over 125 miles an hour, and he is leading right now. Surprising with all the catamarans in this heat. There's Deep V out in front of everybody else.
These McManus hulls are natural evolutionary derivations from the original Apache hull. Mr. McManus was, in fact, the president of Apache at one time.
And here we are over B-28, a 28-foot Armada.
This is called the Bat Boat, designed in Sweden, built in the United States. The designer Aki Manafelt claims that the boat combines the best of both worlds. It's got a V hull, but there are wings on the side that carry it somewhat like a cat. There's some air riding characteristics. Very quick for the horsepower. Some of the fastest boats in the world use this design.
Here we go from a bat to a cat. This is Vinny Rapisi's 30-foot Spectre with twin 600 horsepower supercharged motors. This thing's really flying along the river.
And he's being closely pressed by that 32-foot skater with triple outboards in the background. Both of these boats have to be capable of speeds well over 110 miles an hour. How much either guy wants to use, we'll find out shortly.
Well, I think the guy with the inboards has got a little bit more weight advantage, so if it does get rough, which it may not do here, he'll have a bit of an advantage in the rough water.
The water right now is quite calm, and it favors the lighter, faster boats today, but everybody's got a shot at the Poker Run because we're based on playing cards, and look at the outboard, come on. Now we're seeing some speed. Outboard's carrying nicely, and the fellow with the stern drives, he's answering. A Spectre against a skater, very similar design.
Further on back in the pack, we pick up with one of our other helicopters, a 303 Formula. This is a classical design. The crew seems to be having a lot of fun here. Meanwhile, further up the pack, it seems Gary Montano in that 42-foot McManus is still leading the pack. There's a lot of cats chasing him down, Rich.
With all that horsepower and all that red hair blowing in there, he's quite a sight for these spectators that line both banks of the Hudson River. Big and powerful, this big Nortec triple diesel powered through Mercruiser dual prop drive, 6 propellers, 3 diesel engines, lots of power, lots of size.
Here's a couple of single screws having it out back in the pack. That's on the lower portion of the screen there. You've got Intimidator. That's an F1 race boat. These guys are out having some fun today. Stock Mercruiser power in that boat.
Yeah, factory one, that means a 500 HP Mercruiser in a stock production boat, and you can have a ball with them on Saturdays and race them on Sundays. Makes a lot of sense, and it's perfect for poker runs.
Really combines the best of both worlds. You get to go out running with the big boys, and then, like you said, have fun on the weekends. You can hang out with your wife or girlfriend of choice and relax in the sun as well.
Marcus, one of the things that strikes me is the wide variety of sizes and shapes and horsepower we see here. Anything from 21 feet to over 50 feet, single, twin, and triple power. There's something for everybody in these poker runs.
You notice a big difference as we jump forward to Jeff Levy's 36 Apache Brave. This is a 2-year-old boat in which he won his very first poker run in Key West this past fall, winning the grand prize of the Miami down to Key West poker run. Thrilling ride, and a good-looking paint job on that boat as well.
And speaking of the paint jobs, the graphics on these boats has become so important. It's an industry unto itself, and each boat gets more and more individualized. Now here's one of our official pace boats, the Donzi 33. That's Steve Simon on the wheel. He's Vice President of Performance for Donzi Marine. Now these Donzis are everywhere on the waterways today, and they started years ago. Back in 1964, Don Aronow designed the Donzi. And the original Donzis, the 007, the 008, and the Broad Jumper were very well known. Here's the big brother. 38 feet long, real powerful, likes to span bigger waves, but they look very much alike. You can see they both have the double-stepped hulls. They ride beautifully in these waters, and the people on board, well, the smiles say it all.
All these people on the poker runs, not only are they there just having fun, comparing each other's paint jobs and power in their boats, they really get a great sense of camaraderie amongst all the other boaters. Doesn't matter if it's a Donzi, a Cigarette, a Sutphin, or an Outer Limits. They all have a good time together. Everybody has a good time dockside and on the water.
Now, these boats come out of Willow Cove Marine right here on the Hudson River in Wayne Courts. He's one of the better-known dealers of Donzi in the U.S. And of course, the Donzi name, it'll be around forever, and it's been around forever.
Here we are up on a Cigarette Top Gun. Cigarette, notorious for some of their wild graphics, bright paint, typical of the Miami's paint schemes. Another example is this 30-foot Cobra of Jim Corton with another wild lightning bolt paint scheme.
Speaking of lightning, we've got twin turbine power in a 40-foot skater. Mike Fusco's amazing entry. He started in the back of the pack because he wanted to show just how fast he was by passing the entire fleet. He's got 150 miles an hour on tap if he needs it. He can use it later on today. Right now, 115 or 120 seems to be plenty. Look at that thing go.
I bet you as he goes between the two bridges here, he's going to pick up some speed and try to catch the leader. I don't know if this cat is going to be outrun by that V-hull of Gary Montana.
But right now he's in water where he can really strut his stuff. As you can see, we've got the Stalker with that beautiful cat on the side and a good-looking crew as well. Everything is ship-shape aboard Stalker.
This is a 37-foot Outer Limits owned by Don LeBlanc of upstate Connecticut. Stock power, boat runs great. He has a lot of fun, travels all over the country and Canada doing poker runs.
And the crew looks very intense in there. They're focused on speed right now. They're up among the leaders, and it looks like they want to be the first boat to the first checkpoint.
Now here's a boat that's trimmed out. Notice the outdrives are kicked back a little bit in this 32-foot Hustler. These guys are seeking some speed. You can tell by the engine hatch they're probably hiding a couple blowers under there. But no match for that cat as they fly by and leave this deep B in the dust.
At the Tania Cozinia's 38-foot Scarab here, they're having a ball. Very colorful boat. In the background, we've got a 38 Baja. Similar boat, but not quite the same. A wing boat, an older boat, but the Baja, well, they're known for their performance capabilities as well. And there's a lot of Bajas out here today.
There's Quinn DePerio again on his 30-foot Velocity, still hanging in the back.
Very interesting graphics on that boat, a little of everything. Here's a fountain, a classic fountain. Nice graphics and 5 people on board. You can see they're having a ball. These fountains, of course, right now, officially, they are the world's fastest V-bottoms with speeds well over 140 miles an hour in 2 directions in an APBA flying kilometer. There are a lot of great boats out here today, and we'll be back with the King of the Hudson. Back to the Hudson River, where the world's largest and most exciting poker run is getting very serious. The NPBA's premier event, the New York City Poker Run, is going down to the point where we're going to name the King of the Hudson.
And serious it is. This is where the guys hang it out. They spread out the boats, they push the knuckles to the dash and see who's got the speed. One of them here is Sal Sciandra in his 37 Outer Limits. He's over 100. He's got it trimmed out.
The challenge today is to catch the fastest guy out here. And without a doubt, the fastest boat we've seen is this twin turbine-powered 40-foot skater cat that's been tearing up the water. The problem is he played some games. He started in the back of the pack, and now he's got to catch the fastest cats. He's going by the quickest V-bottom out here, the Black Cloud, and look at the speed differential.
As you look on Black Cloud, you notice way up ahead of this jet boat, there was another rooster tail. That belonged to Catwalk. Way up off the bow of Black Cloud, Catwalk is a 35 motion with twin 900s. He is, in fact, the king of the Hudson.
Catwalk came down from Canada to spread some speed on the Hudson River. And here you see the fastest V-bottom crossing the finish line of the speed run, the Tappan Zee Bridge.
The best thing here is that they're still running. Many of the boats that'll get this far won't be running. Not like this fountain, though. This fountain looks like a 38, 12-meter, running great, having fun, and these guys are right in the thick of the pack. Good thing they're not close to a lot of other boats. Looks like the chop is picking up a bit.
You know, the funny thing is here, you're seeing a boat run close to 100 miles an hour, and after that display we just saw from the jet set and the catwalk, they look like they're almost going at an idle. Not idling right now is the Black Cloud, having set the fastest run for a V-bottom up to the Tappan Zee Bridge. They're still running at well over 100 miles an hour, and that brings us to the NPBA. The parent group behind this poker run today is steeped in racing tradition. Started in 1983 by Billy Friends. This group is a Northeast offshore powerboat racing group first, and a poker run group second. He started out putting on offshore powerboat races in the Greenwich, Connecticut area, and ended up today with these magnificent poker runs all over the Northeast.
Poker runs really allow the true enthusiast who maybe doesn't have the money, the deep pockets, or the enthusiasm to go racing. However, they still have a fast boat and like to have fun. This gives the venue for both to happen. You can run fast or slow as much as you want, like these guys in this 38 fountain, and still have as much fun as somebody in a race, and hopefully not break and spend the same kind of money.
Now, Hall and Aces, this is a poker run after all, and it's all about playing cards. Right back on this other fountain, this is the crew that we saw running before, and they continue to just tear up the Hudson. They're boiling the water today.
Nothing but fun as we continue north on the Hudson towards Ossining. There's Mike Alexander in his 30-foot superboat. He's really hammering the throttles forward. See his knuckles rubbing up against the dashboard.
A lot of throttling going on. It's choppy down there. He's found some swells to run over, and the boat's getting airborne. He's getting some air, and he's having some fun. And the guys in the back, of course, they're enjoying the sun and the wind in their face. Look at the cat go by, the #1 hustler. The catamarans today, they're just loving this water.
What a gas. This is a 45-foot Sonic with triple 525 SCs owned by John O'Loughlin. Good-looking boat, good-looking crew. They're all having fun out here today.
One of the best rough water designs you'll find anywhere, the Sonic. And as all of these boats are crossing underneath the Tappan Zee Bridge, some 20 miles downriver, the final starters are just coming under the George Washington Bridge, including our race chairman, Billy Friends, who's content to slow it down a peg or two.
Many of these boats are the cruiser classes, the single screw, Sweet 16 Donzies, and the smaller boats.
A parade of state-of-the-art boats over 20 miles long. And that parade is pulling into the Ossining Boat Club right now for their playing card. There's a $5,000 prize. Each stop you get a card. The boat with the best poker hand, $5,000 later. These people have a lot at stake here, more than just speed. Marcus is down on one of those boats.
Coming to the first checkpoint, which is where you get your second poker hand card in a sealed envelope. You'll get a total of 5 during the entire game on the water here. Gotta say, the 42 Tiger cigarette we're on here held together pretty well, and we had some pretty high speeds between the George Washington Bridge and the Tappan Zee Bridge. Coming up to the Ossining, New York Boat and Canoe Club. I think they're used to a lot smaller and quieter boats in this marina, but not today. Looks like we're gonna see a little bit more rumble than the little light, delicate paddles of the canoe.
That's for sure. As a matter of fact, we're seeing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 horsepower in some cases in these super fast boats. And as you can see, the harbor gets pretty crowded when this many boats, close to 200, come in here to get their playing cards. One of the most exciting events to hit eastern New York State in a long, long time, the Hudson River Poker Run. And look at the traffic jam down there now in the Ossining Boat Club. But it's a pretty traffic jam, and it's a beautiful day.
Not only a pretty traffic jam, it's a pretty expensive traffic jam. Anybody can go fast, anybody can go straight. You got to be able to get there and maneuver without damaging those boats.
The Beast that Roars, number 206, just coming out of the pits here at Ossining. Looks like he's had a little bit of trouble. Maybe he lost his engine cover, but he's carrying on. It's not going to stop his party. Triple 300 Mercs.
quintessential to any poker run is making sure your woman of choice matches your paint job in her bikini.
Just coming out of checkpoint 1, Bill Ewell with the Armada racing team. And the bat boat, that must be Catwoman there, wearing her summer whites. Vintage Donzi, the Paradigm.
A little help from a extended pull as we pick up our card here on the 42 Tiger cigarette. As they push us off the dock here, you'll notice they'll want us to hit it.
It's a real team effort at the Ossining Boat Club, and it's also a team effort, the father and son team, Bob and Jason Mueller from Ramsey, New Jersey, in a full race boat. Now, they're out here today with a very well-known boat sponsored by L Fuels. This is a boat that, in fact, professionally competes on the U.S. offshore circuit. But today, the father and son team, they're just out strutting their stuff. And a lot of other people are out strutting a lot of other exciting stuff. And we'll have more when we come back. We're back with more performance boating history, the Hudson River Poker Run, NPBA's premier event and the largest offshore powerboat event in history. Bob and Jason Mueller still tearing up the Hudson River waters, northbound going from Ossining to Haverstraw, another checkpoint.
And here's its sharp contrast, Mike Felistovich and his 22-foot Celebrity. Whoa, that is a ride. This is a much smaller boat, small pleasure boat.
The boat looks as wide as it is long. Here's a beautiful Baja with a 3-person crew on board. Some very happy faces in there. They're waving to one of her helicopters. On the controls, that's James Pappas in his pride and joy. Another one of those plentiful Bajas that we see. And Baja, of course, is one of our sponsors, and for good reason.
Another plentiful boat on the water today is the Donzi. This is Mike Toto on his 38th Donzi. Smiling crew there. They seem to be having a lot of fun checking out the competition behind them.
Styling and profiling. Also styling and profiling is this cute little Baja, a smaller boat, a single-engine boat, a little more price competitive. And the most price competitive boat out here, the most speed for the least money, has to be the Armada. This single-engine flyer is just roaring along. Look how well it's taking these rollers.
That Volvo Penta drive is keeping this boat straight and true in the water there. Those wings are actually acting as a buffer, so if it were to go towards its side, it's just going to pop it right back on a true course.
It's a truly unique design, and it's truly amazing to watch it run in these big seas. The boat is handling very well considering its size and its power. We were able to look a lot closer at this boat earlier on the dock with Chris.
Live and direct from Gotham City, we've got Rich Snipple, who's the Vice President of Armada Powerboats. And Rich,
good to meet you, Chris.
I'd like to find out a little bit more about the bat boats you've got here today. Tell us what the overall picture is.
Well, we started building these boats back in November. Aki Mannerfelt from Stockholm, Sweden came and looked around to market this product uniquely through a couple different companies, and after meeting with our company, chose to have us produce the boat here in the United States, and we've since assembled some 7 or 8 boats, and as you can see, we've got 3 of them right here now.
Okay, now this is a 28-foot high-performance design. It's unique. We've got wings, we've got racing strakes, we've got vents. Why don't you tell us about what's so unique about this whole design?
It was designed with the steps integrated into it. It wasn't an afterthought. You can kind of tell that my strakes run completely longitudinal all the way forward. What that does is helps to provide lift, and when you turn into a turn tight, it helps to turn into the turn instead of away from it. When the chime would normally walk away, it'll turn you away. And obviously, as you noted, it does have wings. What that's going to do is gives us an enormous amount of stability, cross stability. If the boat ever comes to an angle like this, you get a high pressure on the right side, a low pressure on the left, and it'll go back. It also provides an enormous amount of lift. And I would say that the biggest feature of the wings is when you launch off of a wave, it's going to keep the boat's angle of attack extremely level.
All right, now we're here in the cockpit of the Bat Boat. I'm Robin, here's Batman. And we were talking about some of the stresses on the boat, of a high-performance boat going 90 miles an hour. You got to do something special with these seats.
Exactly. We designed this seat ourselves, and it's one of about 6 different options that we've got in seating arrangements. And like I say, it's custom. Each boat's built to the specs of the customer, and we'll build it any way they want. But these are the seats that we choose to put in the front. They add an awful lot of lateral support. They're on a semi-suspension that is completely adjustable to make it as soft or firm of a ride as you like. One thing you'll note is most of these offshore boats out here are running with stand-up bolsters, right, and we're running with sit-down, similar to a catamaran. And people often ask me, what kind of abuse is that going to be on my back? I've been out in 6- and 8-footers, no problem in this boat, and absolutely no compression on my spine at all. The ride on this boat is unbelievable until you're in it and see it. It's that amazing of a boat.
I mean, I'm looking at this height of windshield here. Does this do a nice job of deflecting? We've got a little lip here to throw
yeah,
the wind up and over.
It actually does. The drivers don't get any wind, and even in the back, you get a real smooth, comfortable ride without a lot of wind in the face or anything like that.
Okay, and what kind of standard power are we going to be running here on the Fly Me from Gotham?
Fly Me's got a 600 DPX Volvo Penta. It's got the DPX HP with the integrated hydraulic steering. The boat runs right at 94, 95 mile an hour right now. We're not completely dialed in with the proper propeller, but we've been tooling around with that quite a bit. This boat right here, we've got a 415 in that, and that boat is an 80 mile plus boat. Our stock boat comes with 390 horsepower, and it runs right around 78 mile an hour.
That's great, right out of the box.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll look for you out there.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Another Armada, the B-28 Fly Me with Bill Ewell, the local distributor here on Long Island, having a great ride. You can see how super smooth the boat's running right now. Well, we're at the second checkpoint. We're at the Haverstraw Marina. This is a world-class facility, well known up and down the East Coast. It has complete service facilities, dockage facilities. There's a great restaurant here, and it's a large, large basin. Stormproof, a great place to dock, a great place to visit, the Haverstraw Marina. The competitors have a short break here as they collect their playing cards. They can review their strategy and then get ready for that long run back down to New York City in the Big Apple. And here's Dr. Pogorski getting ready to collect his card. And of course, as we said, you have to get 5 playing cards, and the best hand, the best poker hand, will be the winner of this event. Back on board the Cigarette Tiger, they're getting their playing card here at Haverstraw, and on board that boat, Marcus is standing by.
A little further up the Hudson, in fact, we're probably 90% freshwater as opposed to the saltwater we started out in. A lot of the boats are still cruising around, just kind of taking it easy now, trying to restore themselves. We've got a long ways back down to Manhattan, where we'll finish up at Surfside 3 and the Chelsea Piers, right down at the tip of Manhattan in New York City.
Meanwhile, on the way down to Manhattan is the big 50-foot Nortec with quite a crew on board. This boat is large enough to accommodate, as you can see, a small army, and every one of them is enjoying themselves. They're probably doing 55 or 60 miles an hour, yet you would think they were just a little over docking speed. Having a ball, getting some sun, that's the way to poker run.
We're going down to the Big Apple for the conclusion of the New York City Powerboat Poker Run. Don't go anywhere. Back to New York City for the conclusion of the largest powerboat event in history. Let's check in with Rich and Marcus.
Here's Guy LaMotta and his classic 40-foot cigarette squadron flying down the Hudson.
Now here's an example of what a lot of trim can do to a 35-foot formula. This 35-foot formula Fastech has the drives all the way out, and the bow is bouncing up and down. They're having a ball in there, getting as much as he can out of that boat, southbound towards the Big Apple. You don't have to be a big boat to have fun. Here's an 18-foot Donzi with a little Arneson drive on the back end of it. And these guys are having just as good a ride as, well, maybe not these guys right here, who seem to have captured more than their share of members of the opposite sex.
And the attention of the helicopter flyer. Now, talk about attention. Our cameraman on board the 42 Cigarette is hanging off the side of the boat as we run it speeds in excess of 90 miles an hour down the Hudson.
Let's check in with the chairman of the NPBA as he follows the events of this, his idea, his brainchild, his vision coming to fruition here on the Hudson River.
Over the shoulder of Jack Cavasso on his 42 Tiger.
Trying to chase down this #1 Hustler. Another classic, a 38 Cigarette, the reckless disregard all the way up from Maryland. This boat made the trip because they thought it would be a great experience, and it certainly is. One of 200 boats here today. Off the record, we've seen them before going northbound, now just as relaxed and having a lot of fun on the southbound leg, this beautiful fountain. And now these boats are coming under the George Washington Bridge. We've got a duel right now between this classic red Baja and that fountain we were just looking at. The two boats have hooked up. They're trying to be the first boat between that pair to get down to Chelsea Piers. Here's your other boat off the record. They and the Baja, well, they're enjoying a little mini race themselves. The rest of the fleet stretches all the way back to the Tappan Zee Bridge. That's 20 miles upriver. This progression is just carrying nicely. They're enjoying themselves, and they, too, having a little bit of a mini boat race here in the middle of the Poker Run with this Scarab that'll just come into your screen from our helicopter, the Panther.
Meanwhile, right ahead of them, heading southbound from the Tappan Zee is Bad Boy, a 45-foot Sonic with triple big blocks in it. They're cruising down. Doesn't look like anybody too close to them. They've got a pretty commanding lead over their little group.
Sonics give such a smooth ride. They're the perfect Poker Run boat. Here's a super boat with a pair of big 300 horsepower Pro Max Mercuries on the back and a good-looking crew inside, having a ball in a 30-foot white super boat.
Definitely running that boat hard as he started to trim it out a little bit. Nice focus job on those new Merc 300s.
East Coast Marine, the rigger there, Joe Imprescia, world champion throttle man of East Coast Marine, rigged that boat.
Here's Breakout, a 38-foot Cigarette Top Gun, another one of those trademark Cigarette wild graphics, as they too pass under the bridges.
Back for the conclusion in just a moment. We're back at the New York City Poker Run, and the suspense is mounting as a $5,000 prize awaits the boat with the best hand. You see boats of every shape and size. You got boats that are air riding hulls, and you've got mono hulls, but everybody here is bound by one thing, and that's their love of speed on the water.
Much different perspective as we have a camera mounted atop the George Washington Bridge. We pan back, you'll see the skyline of Manhattan coming into view. Everybody can smell not only the barbecue at Chelsea Piers, but they can also tempt themselves to think they're going to win the $5,000 prize.
Now here's an older formula, but this boat has just as good a chance of winning the overall prize as the fastest boat out there, because the prize is based on your winning poker hand, not necessarily your speed. And Marcus dials up the RPMs on the Cigarette Tiger, while the rest of the competitors, well, they start to smell the home stable, and they're putting the ponies down. You can see we're seeing some of the highest speeds we've seen all day. The fuel tanks are lighter, the boats are going quicker, and they're all going home for that big, big prize drawing that everybody is sensing is right around the corner.
Sonic Tonic, owned by attorney Tom Brewer, still heading southbound on the Hudson River with his crew happily in tow. The view from up above shows many a prop wash as we head further down the Hudson, getting closer to Manhattan. The skyline is appearing ever greater. The Penetrator, another Baja, bouncing around. Better hold on tight there, honey. And they're trying to catch up to Joe Giammo and his 31 Bullet 650 Blue Lightning motors. The pretty bright yellow 37 Profil.
And after a great day of speed and very few mechanical breakdowns, the fleet is finally home. The Surfside 3 Marina here at Chelsea Piers for the final stop after a wonderful day on the water on the Hudson River.
Coming in here to Chelsea Piers, we got a high wind, high current situation. So what you want is a world champion throttleman like Billy Prince right at the wheel.
I gotta tell you, there's more than just the allure of winning $5,000 in a hand playing poker on the water. I got a chance to drive this 42-foot Cigarette on the way back down for the whole entire length of the Hudson. Let me tell you, at 100 miles an hour, life can't be sweeter. This thing really ran.
And the sweetest destination on the Hudson is the Surfside 3 Marina, a world-class marina only minutes away from Manhattan's greatest attractions.
And every year we like to point out one of our more unusual boats here at the New York City Poker Run. Here's our winner this year. This is the Montego 30 by Carver, which served as our Speedvision headquarters for the New York City Poker Run.
Here we are standing on the docks with what's actually a race boat, which came out to enjoy and play with all the pleasure boats today. Rob and Jason Muller, father and son team from New Jersey. Tell us a little bit about this boat.
This boat's a 36-foot Cobra catamaran. We're sponsored by Elf Fuels and Lubricants, Dunkin' Donuts, and TSE Motor Cars. We usually run the whole SBI APBA circuit, but we decided since we're local, we came out and run with the local guys. We had a good time today.
I noticed to your credit, you guys were the 1997 world champions in SBI. That's pretty impressive. I mean, to bring a piece of equipment like this out on the Poker Run series, you probably didn't run too hard, just had some fun, right?
Yes, we did, but it was a real nice occasion. Everything was set up nicely. Beautiful day today.
That's great. You guys going to campaign a few more poker runs, or are you going to gear back up for the racing season?
We may do one more in Jersey this year down Jersey Shore. Have to see what happens. Got a lot of races coming up.
What kind of speeds do you see in this boat?
About 118.
That's impressive. Well, guys, good luck. Glad to have you here and look forward to having you more poker runs.
Great,
Thank
Marcus.
you.
Thank you.
Take care.
All of the poker runners were impressed by the facilities here presented by Surfside 3 Marina at the Chelsea Piers in Manhattan. And Rich Lures had a chance to speak to our hostess, Diane Barber.
When most performance boaters think of the west side of Manhattan, they think of a place to journey past, not journey to. Chelsea Piers has a surprise for us, however, Surfside 3 Marina. Our hostess, who's done a beautiful job, is Diane Barber. Diane, why would you invite this many high-performance boats to Surfside 3?
As you said, Rich, Surfside 3 is on the West Side Highway. It is a destination. As you said, most powerboaters go right by us. We want everyone to know that we exist. And we invite the powerboaters, as well as the cruises, the sailboats, to visit at Chelsea Piers.
Diane, Surfside 3 is a very familiar name. You have a lot more than one location.
Yes, we do. The Chelsea Marina is one of 11 locations. The main headquarters is in Long Island, Lindenhurst, Long Island.
And your main product line is?
Sea Ray Yachts.
And you actually sell Sea Rays right from this location?
Yes, we do. This location houses all the yachts. We hold from 35 up to 63 feet in this location.
And you're very convenient to Wall Street now with the money's rolling in from the stock market.
Yes, we are. Thank God for the stock market.
The NPBA on Speedvision. We'll be right back.
Before we get to the awards and that $5,000 cash prize, I'd like to bring Billy Friend, the executive director of the NPBA, into the booth and have a word about one of the other classic events of the National Powerboat Association circuit, the Manhasset Bay Gold Cup. Now, Billy, this was the 6th year for this event. Tell us a little bit about it.
This event is an extension of our racing circuit from 1977 to 1987 on Long Island Sound. Our old race boats have been transformed into pleasure boats, which actually go faster now, the new technology of the industry. Such competitors as Fever Racing Team, Cigarette Racing Team, Baboom Racing Team, and a host of others join in the fun and camaraderie of the sport. That's what we're all about.
And I got a chance to ride with 5-time world champion Stuart Hand in 170-mile-an-hour pleasure boat version of his recovery racing. And let me tell you, that was quite a ride. One last look at Joe Stroh's beautiful Fever. Back to Rich in New York City for the awards center.
Peter, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And the award for best looking boat, No Discipline, Pete Condo, Pride and Joy. Best looking cruise, the Armada team of Red Lackey. The fastest V-Bottom, the Shot Brothers, Black Cloud. King of the Hudson, John Crow. The winner of the poker run, Dr. Ed Sikorsky, Australia. And a special award, Powerboat Hall of Fame Man of the Year. Now that was a poker run, and a great one. What an outstanding day. The weather was terrific, the fleet was awesome, and the course was perfect. And what I liked the most were the smiles on the faces of those participants, Chris.
That's right, Rich. Everybody's out here just to have a good time and to run their boats around. This was not a race. And as a matter of fact, poker runs are getting so popular, many of the manufacturers are building boats in their line. That's a poker run. So that's it for the 1999 New York City Poker Run. We look forward to seeing you next year. I'm Chris Kelly.
I'm Rich Lures. So long.